TX ball selected is 2x. There were 15 winners. Big 4 morning draw winning numbers are 2, 5, 5, and 5. And the ball TX ball selected is
Good afternoon, Dominica. Good afternoon to you and welcome. Welcome to the Talk on the Block. I was just monitoring the courts at the magistrate's court. The last I heard, eyewitnesses, a young lady, an adult, was being bailed for $10,000 for the incident that took place on the weekend. Her daughter was a minor, or is a minor. So her mother was the only one required to apply for bail. So bail was set for $10,000. And the last I heard or saw again, what she was being bailed by her son, her elder son, I think 28 years old. For $10,000. Again, that followed the arrest of the mother and child in a liquid viral video that went viral. So you heard this morning that the police confirmed that they have arrested and charged 2 individuals with 2 counts of summary offenses after they launched an investigation into a viral matter involving a school child in uniform. So again, the mother was just being bailed when I left the court for $10,000. I'll give you more details when it becomes available. and if the bail application was successful. All right, Dominica, 449-3095. We're going to take a break for what our sponsors will come right back. Thank you.
ESA Trading Limited welcomes you to our cosmetics department for a wide range of body care and maintenance supplies, shampoo and conditioners for both natural and processed hair colors, hair oils, hair gels, and a wide variety of hair foods such as herbal, bergamot, carrot oil, olive oil, and more. Lavender scented essential oil for a full body massage, mosquito repellent sprays, itch stopping creams, and triple antibiotic ointment, dry mouth gel, a wide variety of toothpaste and mouthwash, rubs for aches and pains, including ice rub, Q-tips and cotton balls, baby care products, feminine care products, hand and feet care products, body lotion, deodorants, body sprays, perfumes, body mist, and much more, all at unbeatable prices. Check us out today at our location at the corner of Kennedy Avenue and Dame Junior Charles Boulevard. ESA Trading Limited. We are making a difference for you.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
ESA Trading Limited Massive Easter Sale is now on, starting today until April 25th, 2025. 15% discount on all upholstery furniture, selected desks, and world famous Ronix power tools. 15% discount on all television sets. 15% discount on 5, 10, and 15-year rum. 1 liter Pure Heaven 100% apple juice, 2 for $9.95. Joel margarine, 15 kilograms, 33 pounds that is, now only $75. 1 liter Pure Heaven tropical drink, only $6.95. Canned tomato soup, now only $3.95. And check in store for many other special prices. E-Star Trading Limited. We are making a difference for you.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
AutoTrade is introducing our very own mobile app. Yes, the AutoTrade app is here. From scheduling your service appointments, request financing, checking our vehicle and parts inventory, to receiving personalized coupons and sales specials. Life is so much easier with the new AutoTrade app. Download the AutoTrade app from the Play Store or App Store today. Call us at 255-6800. AutoTrade, it's more than a vehicle, it's a relationship.
Now available at ESA Trading Limited showroom department, a wide range of household items and accessories. Plates in porcelain, ceramic, clear, and corale. Bowls in glassware, plastic, and porcelain. Pot sets and frying pan sets. Glasses for all occasions. Knife sets and cutlery. Water jugs and storage containers. Wooden spoon sets. Dish trainers. Chopping boards. Bath towels, shower curtains, bed sheet sets, curtain rods, living room sets, recliners, and dining room sets, mats and rugs, and so much more. All at unbeatable prices. Visit us today. We are located at the corner of Kennedy Avenue and Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard, Roseau. ESA Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
Dominicans, Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again. Can't wait till you fly out and all your business running out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
All right, it's good afternoon to you, Dominic. Good afternoon to you. I know you've been awaiting, basically, you're thinking about, persons who may have been arrested and what is the process, what's going on. Mr. Ronald Charles, of course, the attorney involved in that process, is on the line with me. Ronald, good afternoon to you. What can you tell us at this time, sir?
Good afternoon to you, Pat, and good afternoon to all your listeners. Good
Mhm.
afternoon to Diasporas and Dominica far and wide. Matt, what I can do say is that as it relates to the investigations and as it relates to probably mounting arrest, one cannot say it's over. I believe that based on my information, other persons will still be arrested and taken to the court. What I can tell you is in reference to Samuel Gerard, that is who I'm trying to organize his High Court bail application. We are almost finished in doing so. We're just waiting for the execution of one or two signatures. And of course, we will take it from there to make sure he gets his bail. Again, it's an application that would be determined by the High Court whether or not he would get bail. What we are we are of the view that based on the law, of course, Mr. Samuel should get bail. We are almost certain. This is where we're at. I continue to say this just as, when I look at everything holistically, it appears to me that the system is in full operation. I think I said it on your program the last time we spoke.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening, Matt, is that I believe this is a deliberate distraction. Where when one group of people are concentrating on their loved ones being arrested for actually laws that are not even supposed to be used against them, put it this way, the other group of people are busy trying to probably organize to get people again in limbo. I'm seeing the photos, I'm seeing the videos in which I really don't need to discuss and get into. This is just nonsense. But what is important to me is that the Dominican people must now realize that if we continue to ignore our fundamental rights, it will only get worse. There appears to be an election coming up sometime. It could be in 2025, it could be in 2026. It doesn't really matter to me when it comes. What matters to me is that we've had a series of our people being deprived of jobs, being deprived of basic stuff. A lot of persons are lined up for homes because they cannot afford it. A lot of people are losing their properties, mortgages. You go to the court, you see a whole list of persons, young people losing their property in this economy that we boast of and that the IMF says is increasing in terms of the GDP, and we're doing well, whatever they say, But on the reality on the ground is that our people are suffering. And there appears to be a notion, there appears to be a movement to silence those who are talking for their rights, who are talking because the people of Dominica, there's a lot of people that need them to speak out. We cannot continue to make Dominicans suffer like that. So while we're there concentrating on what they're doing, we must concentrate on what we need to do as a people.
As a matter of fact, I'm happy you brought up the issue, Ronald, as it relates to getting the people ready, because it appears, based on the images I've seen over the weekend, there's parties at the Prime Minister's residence, young ladies, on show there on the weekend. So something is going on. As the term goes for the Labour Party, something is really happening. So what is the United Workers' Party? I don't know if you're willing to ask that question. What are you guys doing on the ground to get the people, say, excited?
Mark, the first thing I would say is that the organization of the United Workers' Party, I speak from the information that I have and what I know of.
Mm-hmm.
We are a party that has been there for many, many years. Yes, we understand that. We are one of the parties that has our delegate conference as often as we can.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the parties that ensure that our hamlets are being well visited and our associations are, well oiled. Obviously, there are certain areas that we need to improve on. We need the manpower. We need the voluntary work because it's obvious that 5-10 of us cannot, go around doing all this work. We need people to come on board to say, okay, yes, I know that you all may be lacking in this area. I'm coming to give that assistance because I believe Dominican needs that. Because I think on many occasions, persons ask, there's a notion that I hate to hear, and that is, oh, they catch them with their pants down. Every time there's been nonsense going on in this country, people are trampling on people's freedom of speech, people electoral reform rights, things are just happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then a snap election and people say, they catch them, they're ready, this and that. It's not we are not ready. We're doing what we can in our capacity. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, as you have seen over the past couple of months, they asked for him to come from Sudan. He's down here now. He's engaging his community. He's doing what he has to do as the leader of this party. Of course, he needs the help. Of course, he needs the encouragement. And that is what we need to do as a people. We must be willing to volunteer our services. We cannot just sit and say, well, they're not doing anything. They don't have money, this and that and that and that. What are you doing to ensure that this incumbents get out of power based on their DNA? That is to say, just playing games with Dominicans. And Matt, I'm not too interested in people having their little barbecue and doing whatever they have to do. I think all of this is distraction. I don't blame anybody for doing whatever they have to do. They have to do what they have to do. The question is that needs to be answered is what you are doing as a people. What are we doing? We're going to sit down and watch all the images and say, okay, they're frying chicken, so it's good, and have all these comments? Or are we going to take the voters list, get a group of us in the constituency, people that concern, and go for it, and say to ourselves, we are the ones that is going to make the difference. That is what Dominicans need to do. And stop worrying about these things that are going on. These are distractions. If you pray, you realize how these things work. If you're not a praying person, you can't really put it together. You'll keep following photos and images. What are we doing with these things? These things are distraction and moving the fundamental things that we're supposed to do. Get the young people educated as to why Claire Arbor have lost so many workers, and now so many of them are on the streets looking for jobs. Over the past 2 weeks, I get how many applications for jobs. These are the concerns. And now we are seeing, because there may just be a political, something coming up in terms of the political arena, and the warfare has started. All of a sudden, we hear about marijuana. We hear about, the committee's been formed. And we hear who is in charge.
It's amazing that you say that, because when Mr. Lennox Linton went, somewhere in the U.S. there and spoke about marijuana industry, he was laughed at, and basically they said he came back charged. So what is happening right now? Is it a reality more than ever? Because I know Mr. Linton and others have been speaking. Even Dr. Dale Langerman spoke about, the industry. But now it seems like there's some excitement in the air that the marijuana has to be, medically appreciated. Very interesting.
I totally agree. When Mr. Linton came and Mr. Linton articulated his visit, say the advantages, talk about, how we can go and make this industry, and it is part and parcel of our manifesto. We spoke about those things. So here it is, for 4 or 5 years, nothing is happening. Now my good friend Kasani and me having cricket match, and this one having domino, and this one is doing this. Every time it's the same method that is being used on our people, and our people need to wake up. It's as simple as that. You cannot let people do you the same thing. They use the same methodology on you all the time, and you're not getting it. How come you're not getting it? Why do I even have to? We're based on how the economy is now. We know people are suffering. Yes, we have our airport thing going on, but yet, while the airport development project is going on. There are thousands of people who have not yet received their money for the purchase of their property through the Acquisition Act. By law, they haven't received their money. I have clients that have not received his money. He receiving some, and they're giving the rest after. You know, what are we doing? And this is supposed to be the fundamental things that are supposed to be done even prior to starting the project. You have the geothermal project going on. I have said it before. How many of us, our young people in the Roseau Valley, that are going to be trained to become an engineer in geothermal management? How many of us are doing that? The same thing for the aerial tram. How many of us are going to learn about how the cable car works and how to fix it and how to go up in the sky and do things? These are the issues that we have to be talking about. How many of us have concerns that we can't pay our driver's license? We cannot drive on the road without trying to play marble hole with the holes on the road. What are we doing? These are the concerns. How many of us that are able to go by Fresh Market and spend $500 in our shopping spree and feel good about it and know that we have some savings? How many of us have a good saving? We have to stop this nonsense of people just promising you empty things, and then they come along and they're going all around the constituency and bring the hype and bring all this thing, and then people forget what they've been through for the last 4 years. We as a people must wake up, and the wake up that we need to do is ourselves. Stop worrying about the incumbents and what they're doing and whatever they're doing. Stop talking about those things. Talk about what we can do as a people. How many fundraising drives have you been on? What have you done? Can you buy a couple t-shirts for you to give to a constituent? Can you assist in this? Can you assist in that? These are the conversations we need to have. You know, look at the voters list. Why is the commission, the Electoral Commission, have not yet bring out a press conference and tell the people of Dominica what needs to be done with the new act that was passed? Why is Duncan Stone not doing this today? Why are we not able to say, okay, we need to go get this, we need to go get that? It's a very transparent thing now. Why? Everything is under the grapevine. Everything is about a hide and seek. You know? Why is it the police officers, some of the police officers, I will say on record, they're good police officers. They're doing their work. They're giving instructions. You can't blame them. If they say go and arrest Ronald Charles because X, Y, and Z and they did their investigation, they have to pick him up. It's okay. But the question remains, where do they go with it? And the other question, where did we get the instructions from? You know, people may disagree with me, but Matt, this country, we are wasting time. We speak too much on irrelevant things that bring the people even lower. We need to start speaking about things to empower our people, to give our people hope. And hope will come when we start reevaluating ourselves and say, what can I do for my country? Not what my country can do for me. What I can do for these new coming elections that will be different. The results will be different. I can visit my neighbor. I can speak to her. I can tell her what she needs to do. I can tell her what is going on. I can tell her about the case that Clara Shillingford just won today at the Court of Appeal. Dominica Strong trucks going all over the place and packing all over the place, yet still they have no locus title in Dominica. They're not registered. They just have a name, and yet still we are allowing those things. And these guys in the authority hierarchy stand up there and they're just saying things. And they're trying to bring down our own people. That's why I believe that we have to put our differences aside. We have to understand each other, and we have to pray. This country is under a spell. And unless we realize that, and unless we understand it, we'll be watching barbecue from now till December. And the election will come and go again. Because these are the things that needs to be eradicated from your vision. You need to see new things. You need to see hope. You need to see good things. You need to circulate good things. Stop this nonsense every time people just circulating things. To me, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't empower me.
You think it's a distraction, as people, as somebody's now suggesting, the arrest of the opposition supporters is just a distraction.
Of course it is, Matt. And what it is if you look at some of the conditions that have been laid by the magistrate, the condition is you don't have to attend. Put it in local parlance. You cannot attend a public gathering. where there is a political thing going on. So if Bosso Freedom Party have a meeting in Soufriere and Bosso were to attend it and go on a mic and speak, because of his bail condition, a police officer can pick up the phone and say, hey, according to your bail condition, you're not supposed to be there. And therefore, I'm coming to arrest you and you have to go to before the court to speak. These are the things that we have to understand, that is of a people, our freedom, our independence, the ability to speak is being muzzled by a group of those who believe that the title registered in Book of Title Labor Government is theirs. But I have a dream. My dream is simple. I'll continue to do everything I can in my capacity. I'll continue to support everything that I can in my capacity for a better Dominica. A better Dominica, Matt, believe you me. We have to move away from the gossiping and the nonsense about sending this. When I have to read a case about the Riot Act, why are you sending me a video about a man roasting chicken and half of the chicken is not good? Why I have to do with that? I don't have to have nothing to do with that. I apologize. But it is what it is. So, Matt, I want to continuously thank you and all Dominicans, especially diasporas, because I can see now the diaspora's eyes have been opened. I heard that Mr. Linton and Mr. Dr. Fontaine may have articulated the issue as it relates to persons coming down here. They must be careful because the law might be on their back, St. Martin and all those places. But Matt, we can do this. We can do this because we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves. We are being fooled and diverted. A young gentleman said to me a long time ago, almost 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that he will wait, no matter how long it takes, he will wait for a house that was promised to him by the incumbents in the Roseau Valley. He's no longer with us today. He is no longer with us today. What does that tell you? And he did not get the property. The same thing that the parliamentary representative minister of foreign, I believe finance, Dr. McIntyre made a promise that he's going to give 12 people homes. He made that promise almost 3 months ago. Have those people entered the house? No, because the campaign season is on. So you'll get a promise note that if you were to be a good boy, you will get the house. And your entire family have to be engaged in it too, because or else you're not getting it. And this is my opinion, but this is the reality of what is happening. Rather than giving our young men and women an opportunity to buy a piece of land, there's so many property left in beautiful Dominica. There's so many acres of land empty. Give them the good jobs. Now I hear them speaking about the water factory. We've been speaking about water and the manufacturing of water and the exportation of water for years. But now, all of a sudden, the Kubuli factory needs to be, I'm talking to a private person. They're always talking to a private person. Somebody always in the mix. Why is the name of the person? Where they coming from? Who are they? Is it not another foreign investor? Is it a local Dominican? What's his name? What have he done in water? Why don't we empower Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited and give them that opportunity to acquire those things and to give them the necessary concession? I may have to apologize for using the people's name, but I'm just giving you an example of a local person who needs to be empowered. These are the kind of things I want to hear, But again, election may be around the corner. People sending me note about May 25th. Even if no matter what happens in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year, the people of Dominica have to be saying, no matter what walks of life you come from, that you had enough of this administration. You need to give them a break. They're tired. Every single one of them are tired. And they know that. You know, I see Raymond Blackford attacking Thompson Fountain recently. What Thompson Fountain have done? Thompson Fountain, all you keep asking for him to come down. He come down now, all you have a problem. All you want him to go back up, Papa Godier? All you want him now to leave to go back somewhere? But Dr. Thompson Fountain is a very patient man. Dr. Thompson Fountain is he knows the issue. He has an economic background. He's able to manage people in a way people, they see it indifferently. And Dr. Thompson Fountain is going to bring a lot of prosperity to this country. We need to give him one chance. And that one chance is to rally around him. That one chance is to support him. That one chance he needs to show Dominicans that if he could do it in 5, 6 other countries internationally, he can do it in small whitey Kobuli. So, Dominicans, wake up. Wake up to the reality and smell the coffee. Let's do what we have to do as a people. Let us do it for our children and the next generation. And stop being deceived by the steamroller of the Labour Party. And you hear people on all this radio program and talking about, okay, well, they went to the demonstration, only 150 people that was there. Much people don't come in. But you're taking half of them and you're putting them into prison. The same people that are standing up, you put in a fear factor. So the next set of people, when you call for them to come out, they'll say, boy, I don't want to go down there now before they arrest me. Because this is a fearful thing. No matter how much you used to it, even seasoned criminals, when they're arrested, they get upset, they get anxiety. Not just for somebody who has never been in a cell before, that have lived a industrious life, and you're taking them and making them into criminals. And some of us, because it's okay, because the showers have not landed on your roof. And when it does, you will see what people have been going through. And God is not he's not a sleeping God, he's always awake. And Matt, I am very saddened by this thing. I need you to educate our people. Stop circulating the incumbents' nonsense and reach out to people and give them the ammunition they need to register people. I sounded like I repeated, so let me leave that alone. But I know what I'm talking about. And Matt, Thank you for the opportunity. Tomorrow I may be going to court again. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
And I will continue to do what I have to do for the people of Dominica. I've always said it and I keep saying it deliberately. I'm not perfect. I don't speak as a perfect man. I just speak as a concerned Dominican that want to live in a society that I can go anywhere, do what I want, and feel a sense of belonging, feel a sense of hope. And that our young people will get jobs that they can be very happy about. And not just one set of investors coming here, building a whole set of, you see what happened I call it the alleged REM. What is going on there now? There was a big Gua movement about this thing opposite the police station. What has happened to it now? Locals have to take it over now to try and see if they can make something out of it. The investors may be gone, allegedly. They may be gone. And it's the same thing that happened. You put in big elephants all over the place, talking about great investment, talking about things are happening. But yet still the reality on the ground is the same businesses that we opened 5, 6, 7 months ago to give it praises that Dominica is going places is the same businesses that are now being shut down. They shut down to the ground. People are losing their jobs. And we sit there circulating barbecue. You think that is what I want to see now? I want to see voters list. I want to see who to register. I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to see a difference in our people. Stop talking about the other side and talk about your side and what you can do to bring a difference. That is what I want to see. That is what I want to hear about. What can we do? Thank you.
Ronald Charles, a very powerful contribution here this afternoon. Somebody's saying, well, every election cycle, the opposition is always so very late to have their candidates or even caretakers in so many constituencies. I need to have a conversation with the leader sometime, soon, very soon. Of course, we are facing a lot of challenges, including economic challenges, Mr. Trump and his tariffs is going to have a serious impact on the Caribbean region. Also, I read this on the weekend that the CBI is crashing. So we are. And it's approaching the final nails on the coffin. CBI is no more. So what is our future looking like? Our passports were like the goose that laid the golden egg, but things are not looking well. I got this message there from Mia Motley, who seemed very concerned and is sounding the alarm for Dominica and the rest of the Caribbean or CARICOM. Let's listen to Mia Motley before we start taking some phone calls. Listen.
Good day. I speak to all our Caribbean brothers and sisters today, not as the Prime Minister of Barbados, but in my capacity as chair of the Caribbean community. Our world is in crisis. I will not sugarcoat it. These are among the most challenging of times for our region, since the majority of our members gained their independence. Indeed, it is the most difficult period our world has faced since the end of World War II, 80 years ago. Our planet faces a climate catastrophe that worsens every year. We have a cost of living crisis that has been bedeviling us since the disruption of supply chains when the COVID-19 pandemic triggered the shutdown of the majority of countries. Misinformation, disinformation, and manipulation are running rampant. The mental health crisis is causing hopelessness among many of our young people. And regrettably, crime and fear is on the rise. We're fighting wars in the Holy Land, in Europe, and in Africa. Countries are distrustful of countries, and neighbors are distrustful of neighbors. The international order and the international system, my friends, is in grave danger of collapse. And now we are on the precipice of a global trade war. Our Caribbean economies are largely reliant on imports. Just go to the supermarket or visit the mall or the hardware shop or the electronics store, and you will see that most of the things there are not produced in this region. Many of those commodities are either purchased directly from the United States of America or pass through the United States of America on their way to the Caribbean region. That, my friends, is a legacy of our colonial dependence. Together with colleague heads of state and heads of government, we have been working to diversify ourselves away from this dependence. We've already started to reap some successes, especially in the field of agriculture, for example, but we still have a long way to go. As we do this work, we have to be mindful that those recent announcements that have been made in the last few days will impact us very directly as a region and as a Caribbean people. We are working and will continue to work to become more self-sufficient. But I want every Caribbean man and every Caribbean woman to hear me. This trade war and the possibility of a 1 million to 1.5 million US dollar levy on all Chinese-made ships entering US harbors will mean higher prices for all of us at the corner shop, higher prices at the supermarket, higher prices at the electronics store, higher prices for us at the shop, higher prices for us at the restaurant, higher prices for us at the car dealership and beyond. A lot of Caribbean people will think that these things that you are seeing on television news or reading about are far away and they don't impact on me. A lot of people think I'm just a farmer, I'm just a school teacher, or I'm just a mechanic. They say, I live in St. Lucie in Barbados, or I live in Portmore in Jamaica, or Kingstown in St. Vincent, or Rima in Trinidad, or Basse-Terre in St. Kitts, or San Ignacio in Belize. These problems are far away from me and they don't impact me. That is what you will hear them say. But the reality, my friends, is that if you buy food, if you buy electronics, if you buy clothes, it will impact you. It will impact each of us. My brothers and sisters, our Caribbean economies are not very large. So we are and have always been at the whims of global prices. If Europe and China and the US and Canada and Mexico are all putting tariffs on each other, That is going to disrupt supply chains. That is going to raise the cost of producing everything from the food you eat, to the clothes on your back, to the phone in your pocket, to the car you drive down the road, to the spare parts that you need for critical infrastructure. That means higher prices for all of us to pay. And sadly, yes, this will impact all of you, regardless of what any of our Caribbean governments will do. We could lower our tariffs to zero in CARICOM, and it will not make a lick of difference because our economies are small and vulnerable. This crisis, my friends, will impact not only goods, but it may also have a large spillover effect on tourism. We suggest that the region take steps to sustain tourism industry, as likely worsening conditions in many of our source markets will have negative impacts on people's ability to travel. We call on our regional private sector and the tourism sector to come together and to work with governments to collaborate for an immediate tourism strategy to ensure that we maintain market share numbers as a region. My friends, I pray that I am wrong, and I'm praying that cooler heads prevail across the world and leaders come together in a new sense of cooperation to look after the poor and the vulnerable people of this world, and to leave space for the middle classes to chart their lives, to allow businesses to be able to get on with what they do and to trade. But truly, I do not have confidence that this will happen. So what must we do? First, we must re-engage urgently, directly, and at the highest possible level with our friends in the United States of America. There is an obvious truth which has to be confronted by both sides. That truth is that these small and micro states of the Caribbean do not in any way or in any sector enjoy a greater degree of financial benefit in the balance of trade than does the United States. In fact, it is because of our small size, our great vulnerability, our limited manufacturing capacity, our inability to distort trade in any way, that successive United States administrations, including and most recently the Reagan administration in the early 1980s, went to great lengths to assist us in promoting our abilities to sell in the United States under the Caribbean Basin Initiative. We will see how these tariffs will impact on that. That spirit of cooperation largely enabled security, social stability, and economic growth on America's third border in the Caribbean, or as we have agreed as recently in our meeting with Secretary of State Rubio, what is now our collective neighborhood. Secondly, we must not fight among each other for political gain, because, my dear brothers and sisters, as the old adage goes, united we stand, and divided we fall. Thirdly, we must redouble our efforts to invest in Caribbean agricultural production and light manufacturing. The 25 by 2025 initiative, ably led by President Ali, seems too modest a target now, given all that we are confronting. We must grow our own and produce our own as much as possible. We can all make the decision to buy healthy foods at the market instead of processed foods at the supermarket. Fourthly, we must build our ties with Africa, Central and Latin America, and renew those ties with some of our older partners around the world, in the United Kingdom and Europe, in Canada. We must not rely solely on one or two markets. We need to be able to sell our Caribbean goods to a wider, more stable global market. My brothers and sisters, in every global political and economic crisis, there is always an opportunity. If we come together, put any divisions aside, support our small businesses and small producers, we will come out of this stronger. To our hoteliers, our supermarkets, and our people, my message is the same. Buy local and buy regional. I repeat, buy local and buy regional. The products are better, fresher, and more competitive in many instances. If we work together and strengthen our own, we can ride through this crisis. We may have to confront issues of logistics and movement of goods, but we can do that too. To the United States, I say this simply: we're not your enemy. We are your friends. So many people in the Caribbean region have brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, sons and daughters, godchildren, living up in Miami or Queens or Brooklyn or New Jersey, Connecticut, Virginia, wherever. We welcome your people to our shores, and give them the holidays and for many of them, the experiences of a lifetime. I say simply to President Trump, our economies are not doing your economy any harm in any way. They are too small to have any negative or distorting impact on your country. So I ask you to consider your decades-long friendship between your country and ours and look to the Caribbean, recognizing that the family ties, yes, are strong. Let us talk, I hope, and let us work together to keep prices down for all of our people. My brothers and sisters, there's trouble in our Caribbean waters, but the responsibility each and every day for much of what we do and much of what we grow must be ours. If we take care of each other, if we support each other, if we uplift each other, and if we tap into the strength and innovation of our common Caribbean spirit, we will see this through. Our forefathers faced tribulations far worse than we will ever do. And yes, they came through it. My friends, my brothers and sisters, we can make it. We shall make it. God bless our Caribbean civilization.
All right, Dominica, that was Mia Motley sounding the alarm. Interestingly, just last week, I had Thompson Fountain for about an hour and 15 minutes. He was basically saying the same thing. Now we may want to listen to Mia when we had our own economist just last week, sounding the alarm. And Dominicans, you might say, refuse to listen. Just last week, I will play that message for you sometime in the near future. But she's sounding the alarm. Things are going to get tighter and tighter. Tie your waist. Let's listen to this voice note.
Man,
Yes.
right message, wrong messenger. This is the very same Mia Motley, who is a senior counselor, and who, when the leader of the Freedom Party wrote, the UPWP wrote to her in light of what just happened in Dominica, using the same colonialistic laws of 18-something, said that the government was within their rights. Barbados does more shipping, more trading than any of the smaller islands. And so now Mia realizes that Barbados shipping is at threat, at risk. She's speaking and wants the Caribbean to rally around Barbados. She's not interested in what is happening in Dominica. No, this is the same Mia who bought Roth University from Dominica. She had no concern. It wasn't a CARICOM issue. Mia is only using CARICOM when it suits her. It is nothing to do with Dominica and St. Vincent and the other islands whose shipping is insignificant. Barbados produces a lot of stuff. They have factories and they do a lot of shipping. And so now she realizes that these are a threat. The tariffs are going to kill them. She wants CARICOM to rally around her. But she forgot. It was just 3 weeks ago when UWP leader wrote to her and asked her to show solidarity with the people of Dominica, because the government is not Dominica. The people of Dominica against the use of RSS forces, and she said that it was a government issue. The government was right to do it. So it's the right message. It should come from somebody else, not Mia Motley.
Interesting. 449-309-596 and 97. 2 o'clock. Yes. Good afternoon to you.
My brother, everything is everything. You have your water, everything nicely. You have your water. Don't take water from anybody. Let me call on 2 people there at this present moment. Very fast. Me and Motley. They want to speak to you this afternoon. It seems that you know something going on, and it's a scary thing. You don't want to tell us already going on. Remember, you are the one making all the money from Ross now. And Ross is to bring in a great economy into Dominica. I know what kind of deal you had, that you have Ross now. Now you see what happening in the country now? We're talking about trade.
And he's trading more than us in Dominica. He's trading every day. And we don't even know why we're trading. All we're doing is importing and exporting, nothing at all. And now you're crying, because the tax is going to come back to Barbados and we're going to lose some money. So you're crying on the other set of people and the other leaders that was very scary to come and help you. But let me tell you something. Mrs. Scary, I'm calling on you now. Me and more police now approaching all the other Caribbean leaders to come together to save Barbados. Technically, we should stop that. You should come and talk to the people, Mr. Scary. Please, I beg you, instead of dividing the people. Come, Mr. Scary, tell the people what is really happening. What will be the economy of today and tomorrow? Would the children suffer the same graduate children that...
Well, I can tell you, my friend, that, as many people are saying, Mr. Scary is now busy campaigning. What's the focus? You have to ask that. 2 o'clock is it's 3 minutes to the hour of 2 o'clock. Talk to me. Yes, good afternoon to you.
Matt, a monthly message is not...
It's what? Hello? Hello? Let's take another call there. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt. How you doing, brother?
Good afternoon to you, bro.
Yeah, you know what is sad in our situation, in our case, Matt, is we had a chance to develop industries with that CBI money, and we didn't do that. We don't have any industries that we can say comes from that CBI process. We have a bunch of hotels that are owned by foreigners, of our passports. Some owned by locals of our passports, that we should have bad benefits in. And so the program is coming. And what is even worse about the program, Matt, is if these leaders in that OEPS region had allowed America and the Euro people to deal with the vetting process of those passports, we would be in none of those situations. It is because of the corruption of these leaders that they avoided allowing these international organizations to vet the citizens in that program. If we had taken that road, we'd be having no issues with this program. You understand? So when people are down there talking about leadership, now is where we see what kind of leadership we've had for the last 20 years, a visionless leadership. And I hope we can put our heads, together and find something better than Roosevelt Carey moving forward in Dominica. Have a good one, brother.
Have a good one. More telephone calls in the afternoon. Talk to me.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Matt.
Yes, I'm here.
We know the problem in this country. I don't think there's any problem, Matt. I believe the people lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Matt. Until the people find themselves, we can never go forward. If you look at the poor man sitting on the road, that is the poor man you have to answer a question. So be a little bit sick there, understand you have fear and future to protect. You understand? Not about me, it's about everybody. You understand me, Matt? For the boat not to sink. Okay?
Everybody has to add their voice.
Yes, everybody, even though you labor, but at the end of the day, you are a Dominican. Place of birth is Dominican. Huh? It's not about labor, another worker, it's about Dominica. Save the youth. Save the country. It's not about Kerry does argue well. It's not about transport, that's what you do. We need to take the transport and drive down the road, or you carry the transport. You take the transport on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So these people now, remember, us tell that police that the people have to scary there now. When we get scary. You see the poor man, that is the major problem with the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. That is the poor man here. 6% will be a lot for him because you don't know $1,000. You understand me? Being rich is about a mentality. You have a mentality to be rich, you'll get rich. Being poor too is a mentality. We have a poor mentality in this country, so we cannot go forward with our mentality poor. Not making money, holding on to money. How you going to hold on to money if you don't know how to hold on to money? Huh?
I understand you, brother. I understand. 204, it's about you. The man in the mirror. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Mr. Percy, I am going to use a proverb for you. It is said that old people say, the same whip that beat the black dog will beat the white dog. 2, it said what goes around comes back around. And the third one is that what the bird was singing inside the cage all the time. When it goes out, it is singing a different song. So what they think that life was theirs, and right now God is coming in, intervening. Things are happening, so they are coming to their reality. You understand? You understand my proverbs?
I'm understanding you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. What goes around come back around. What the birds sing in the cage all the time, when they let it go sing in a different song. And the same with that beat the black dog is beating the white dog now.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. With your Proverbs there, 2:05 is the absent time. Hello, yeah?
My pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Good-
Fontaine here, Austin. How you doing?
Yes, my brother. How you doing?
Matt, I listened to Ronald Charles speak a while ago. Let me just say, very good speech by him. And then I second what he said. And all the efforts that they've been making and all the efforts that Mr. Fontaine is making and has come from all the way from Sudan to come back to lead a party. Matt, I've been advocating and talking about this for years, and I've been calling it back on your program, that the politicians of today need a movement, a change of how things done to get the regime removed from power. I keep calling them the laziness, the not going into the communities, and some people are going to be upset what I'm about to say, but I don't care. You need to get out in the communities, in the old lady's kitchen, where she sprung in her torton and hear her story. You need to get out there, come in the field, meet the people, the locals. Take a page in what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago right now. The election is due for the 20th of this month. See what's happening in the movement that's going on in Trinidad of the opposition that's going to take over from this government. To the opposition party, you need to do better than that. The old school politician needs to take a back seat. Fresh blood of new politicians need to come in this arena with ideas, with a momentum, with a movement, and a sense of hope. Change, something better. Come to the people, give the people of Dominica something other than this rubbish that we have in Roosevelt Scary and this administration that is getting rich every day. We know that. The public is aware of this Labour Party cabal. They are getting rich after Hurricane Maria. So much money came from China, 300 million, 48 billion pounds from Prince Charles. A lot of money coming to this country. These ministers of government, Matt, should be locked up already and be tested before court because of all the monies that have been missing in this country, unaccounted for. We know that. We know there's corruption. So therefore, I am calling on all young entrepreneurs, intelligent, smart persons out there in the community, whether you're a youth officer, a youth division guy, you are in your community, you are the young people, you're in your community, you're going to church, you're a church leader. The people love you, the people like you, you can do good for your community. Step up, and come forward. And to Mr. Thompson Fontaine, take my advice and take me as a fool. I don't know who's advising you all. I don't know who are you listening to. But do what you have to do, my brother. And to the other parties that are involved, do what you all have to do. Do what you all have to do. Use your head wisely. We cannot be going and doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. It is not working. It is not working. You need to step up. Go in the communities. Now is the time to vet your candidate. Go and find your candidate, not because you have candidates already there and because some of the constituency associations, some of them are already choosing who they already made up their mind they want to be able to run on a general election ballot. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work so. It doesn't work so. We are not seeing the people that's supposed to be, that wants to contest any general election in our constituencies. We are not seeing them. We need to see all you, or the country needs to see those of you who are interested, like myself, in running for general elections. You need to be people like myself on the ground. Be with the people when they bathe. Be with them when they play. Be with them when they go to the river. Be with them when they go to the beach. Be with them when they play sports. Be with them when they are fundraising. You have to be in the kitchens and hear their stories. And that, man, is when Dominicans will open their eyes. But when you all just realize, and then Mr. Ronald Charles made a very good point, oh, they catch them with their pants down. That is a stupid saying, an old saying. They did not catch nobody with their pants down. That is why educating the people and building a movement. You don't have to wait when election is called for you to be out there in the field and trying to see if you can win an election. Gentlemen, parties, oppositionists, Democrats, Republicans, whoever you are out there in Dominica want to see change, you all have to clench your fist, embrace change, take new risk, and do the right thing. We can do this. We can do this. I'm calling on all the young persons who have gone to college and school and who want to come back home and represent their people in the House of Assembly. You all can do this. You can come forward. And we keep going back to the same old thing and the old candidate. You all need to find people that is attractive and that the people will have trust in them and not corruption. Have a blessed afternoon, man.
Blessed afternoon too. Have you heard this one there? Somebody just said I should play this one there from JD in 2019. I think it was this one. Somebody said, man, didn't I tell you that me and Motley and the rest of the Caribbean leaders would hire Dr. Thompson Fontaine in a heartbeat? That is why they're aiding and abetting Scary into exporting our human resource to them. While every other Caribbean island is going to Parliament to see how they can deal with the easing up of tariffs, burden on the consumers and businesses, Dominica is having nasty business parliament in pool party. Continue to see you away, Papa. Continue to see you. And Ronald Charles is right. Scary and his cronies are not the problem anymore at this point. It's the people and the citizens living in Dominica that are the problem and need to wake up. Labor rights starting to complain, feeling the Labour Party 25 years fatigue. They're starting to hear the messages on the ground of people telling on them. So they're just trying to shake up the people to see their level of your loyalty before calling the election. Let's take it from the top. JD in the afternoon. JD 2019 and did this one.
My dear sweet country, look, we just turned 40. But check out where we are and where we should be. Our leaders keep letting us down. Once they have power, then power is all they see. Pregnant with beauty, nature, so much greenery. Let people on this water, soil and grow anything. Able-minded people willing to work towards one goal. The life on this earth, but we government is a stumbling block.
Brother JD. And you're hearing the Caribbean leaders talking about what is to come, huh? CB Island is deathbed right now.
So good. They will before hospitals that serve the multitude. So we fed up and their chances done, and we decide when the elections come, tell them get out, get out, get out. We don't want them no more.
Brother JD, get out. Somebody recommended I play this song this afternoon there, huh? The most interesting question about an election are not concerned with who won, but with such questions as why people voted the way they did or what the implications are as a result. These questions are not always easily answered. Looking only at the campaign events and the incidents will not suffice. The unique aspects of the election must be blended with a more general understanding of the electoral behavior to create a full explanation. We thus need to discuss basic concepts and ideas used in study of voting behavior as a basis for analyzing election results. One car dealer is complaining or is stating or reiterating the tariff on motor vehicles in Dominica is 147.5% for 25 years. So Trump has just decided to follow Dominica Trump. Garrett is the master of tariffs, huh?
That the government with the most money, they're the one to make the most mark that way. Tell them get out, get out, get out. We don't want no more.
Jason has a very good point, because if you look at the St. Lucia all now, there's campaigning going on, and all the candidates have been introduced at this time to their people and constituents. So he's right. We need to step up and change strategy.
They keep those things that song, boy, they go hunt you down, or make you quit and run. That's their reputation. Some run away because they can't take no more. To bring a back.
Somebody's sharing some information, very interesting information. Yesterday, Chinese were seen at the edge of the Central Forest Reserve close to the Desbranche Bridge with heavy equipment, including the big white trucks seen on the airport project. Later that day, it was even seen that the soil was cleared and transported north of the bridge in their effort to search for some sort of material. Open your eyes, huh? The Chinese may have discovered some minerals in that area, so please open your eyes. Remember Mr. Linton visited the U.S. a few years ago? He took the opportunity to meet with the state officials and also the leading scientists of cannabis production and related products. On his return to Dominica, he made mention of the opportunities we had as a nation, but was publicly ridiculed by the DLP. I remember that very well there. They said he came back charged. Today, 7 years later, and they are coming from under the stone, saying and giving blessings to the marijuana industry. Isn't that strange? Good morning, hello, good afternoon to you. Hello, talk to me. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
My son complained to me this morning that Friday at time he jacked him. This morning he jacked him again. Tell Skerry to keep his redens them out of our people. Blackmore already arrest a fella because that time he kicked him, he arrest the fella and put the fella in prison. Tell Blackmore and Skerry, tell his redens them not to kick black people. Do not seize black people in their country. We cannot go in China and do that. Tell those Chinese, keep their hands off Dominicans. They already thief our country already. Warning for those Chinese, keep all your hands off Dominicans. Do not jack our young boys. And for stupid Skerry and stupid Blackmore to come and arrest our boys.
Again, we need more confirmation on that, huh? That would be very disturbing if they are, as you said, jacking the young men, yeah?
Matt CBI finished. That is why Nanton is offering Thompson Fountain on that interview he was doing there to come to meet the Labour Party. He can come to meet the Labour Party. But Thompson is not as stupid as you think, as Nanton may have think. Thompson have more education than that. He's not stupid like Skerritt or any one of them.
I did not see that interview, but that'd be interesting.
Yes, we country, look, we just at 40. But check out where we are and where we should be. Our leaders keep letting us down. What they have power, then power is our destiny. Pregnant with beauty, nature, and so much.
Hello, talk to me. Yes, good afternoon. Hello.
Towards one goal, better life on this earth, but we government.
I told you the CBI is facing some serious issues. Let's listen to a commentary from Dwyer Asafan, who's been following the events there around the CBI. Let's listen for a few minutes. Asafan Dwyer.
It may be time to take out our funeral clothes in the Eastern Caribbean, because the cold hand of death may now be touching the CBI program of Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts and Nevis. The European Union is about to introduce legislation in its parliament which would remove the visa waiver for travel to 28 European countries by persons who hold economic citizenship of these and other countries, ours and others. So only people who acquire citizenship by natural causes, birth, descent, marriage, and naturalization, will have a chance to enjoy the visa waiver into the European Union. This will be disastrous for our CBI. And as if it is not enough, the Americans are applying pressure as well. If this happens, and it seems inevitable, then somebody please call Pastor Connor to do the last rites over our CBI. This disaster has been threatening for years. People, including myself, have been cautioning for years. Clearly, not enough has been done about it. How did we get here? Let's look back a little bit. Our CBI was started in 1984. It operated pretty much as a one-man show. No accountability, no transparency. It wasn't big, at least not for the country. Then in 2006, the SIDF was introduced. SIDF is a foundation established by the National Trust Company, which is 100% owned by National Bank, which itself is 51% owned by the government. So while it is not formally part of the government, it is in reality under the control of the government, more specifically under the control of the Prime Minister. And over the years, it has operated pretty much like a secret society. A bad start that has contributed to the judgment day that we're now facing. Now, you can argue that the European Union and the United States may have always wanted to close down these CBIs. But I think it would be fair to say also that we have given them reason to do so. Some of the egregiousness and slackness that have taken place. A well thought out CBI program would be governed by prudent policy and practices relating to population, capacity, limits, ethnic, social, cultural, and economic stability, clear electoral and constitutional safeguards, including but not restricted to rights, voting, citizenship, succession, land and business ownership, electoral eligibility, national security, institutional and infrastructural resiliency, and so on. But from 2006, the dazzle of dollars became the main focus. Too much poor leadership, too much slackness, too much greed. In 2006, the Douglas administration, of which I was a member, signed a deal with a Swiss company named Henley and Partner, giving Henley and Partner exclusive worldwide rights to promote and market the SIDF. Henley and Partner would receive 20,000 US dollars for each successful applicant, whether it processed the application or not. And of course, if it processed the application, it would extract a fee, maybe $10,000 from each applicant. So Henley and Partner were both the exclusive worldwide promotion and marketing agent and still a sales agent. A bit excessive, in my opinion. And if I recall correctly, on top of that, they still wanted to do the due diligence, which would be terribly wrong. Now, persons who are far brighter and more knowledgeable of these things than I am tell me that the SIDF generated about 1 billion US dollars under the leadership of Douglas and another billion US dollars under the leadership of Harris. When I call these numbers, ask yourselves what you got out of it under Douglas and what you got out of it under Harris. And ask yourselves why we are where we are, given all of this money that has been generated. Why are we where we are? And why is the burden of the present government? And they're not free. But why is the burden of the present government so heavy? This is the main reason. The money that should have been made available to lift this country to the next level. Poof. I will not take the billion. I'll be more conservative. I will presume that under Douglas, the SIDF generated 500 million. And under Harris, 500 million US. That's 1.35 billion under each EC. Douglas parted ways with Henley in 2013, and a new group named CS Global was brought in to replace them. This is after 7 years. We'd already gotten our feet wet. We knew the industry. We did not need such an arrangement. But Douglas brought in CS Global in 2013. No explainable, no sound, no logical justification for a move like that. By my estimate, Henley and Partner could have pocketed 80 million US dollars out of their arrangement with the Douglas administration. And CS Global maybe twice that out of its relationship with Douglas, Harris, and Drew. So you're looking at 240 or even 3 times that, I could say, between 240 and 320 million US dollars for those two companies. Possible. Who under God's heaven can convince anybody with common sense and a conscience that these have been good deals for you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? And all of that money does not include the at least 500 million US dollars that has been bled from our country to the TLOPS project at Frigate Bay, the Chinese project at West Farm, and the Ramada Inn, all of which made a load of money for them, but was a failure for us. Meanwhile, the US warned, Canada warned, the UK warned, the European Union warned. And what did our leaders do? They gave our passports to Mogadama, to Arthur Porter, to Tursun Bayev, to Charles Obiang, to Hush Puppy, and to a number of other bad eggs. Defiant. They even gave diplomatic passports to some of these scamps. What kind of leadership have we had in this country? Why are we lionizing people who have done so much damage to us and have pushed us now to the precipice of destruction? But that's not all, you know. There are the international marketing agents. These people operate outside of St. Kitts Nevis. They market the CBI products. And they control the industry, charging massive commissions and dictating which local authorized agents work and how much they work for. These international market agents make between 20,000 and 50,000 US dollars for each successful application. So for every 1,000 citizenships transacted, they earn between 20 and 50 million US dollars, which is paid to them by the developer or by the government, depending on which option they're selling. And the government, of course, is you. Now, I don't expect to get services for free, but this situation with the international marketing agents has long gotten out of hand. And it is they who successfully pressured our governments to turn a blind eye to the underpricing of the CBI product. Because our governments, some money passing, big money. Some of these international marketing agents are so powerful and corrupt that governments seem afraid to remove them from the list. They have generated, in my opinion, between 800 million US dollars and a billion US dollars over the years out of our CBI. So between them and all of the others, CS Global, Henley and Partner, and so forth, you're looking at about 2 billion US dollars, at least, which is about 5 billion EC dollars. Billion, not 100 or 1,000 or million, billion with a B. With regard to the jail project, Galaxy wholesaled all of their 4,400 files to international marketing agents at a discounted price, pocketing about $400 million up front. And they made more money by having their affiliate company do the due diligence. So you're looking at $475 to $500 million through the Galaxy bank accounts. From the jail project alone, the international marketing agents made over $200 million. All of that money flying out, generated from St. Kitts and Nevis, but little or none of it landing in St. Kitts and Nevis. Typical colonial paradigm, typical rip-off of the people of a country by foreign bloodsuckers with the help, intended or otherwise, of local people. Because the rip-off artists always have locals whom they can use. Bloodsuckers, including some of our own, as I've said. They're after money and more money, not giving a damn about our people. They've managed to manipulate successive administrations in these islands to the point that we are now on the precipice, ready to fall off. Poor leadership over the years, conflicted regulators, smugness, greed, and corruption. And you add them all up, and you see where we are today. Looking for Pastor Connor to do last rites over our CBI. And the straw that broke the camel's back was the Galaxy Jail project. Now it's possible that most people, if not everybody, who made money from this jail project, made money from illegal transactions. It is possible. And every single one of them needs to compensate the government and the people of this country, whether you're foreigner or local. If you're involved, we want reparations from you. Those, and we know exactly who they are and about how much they made from the jail project. Those who are in the federation, they should each finance the construction of one or two or more houses for some poor people in this country. Show a conscience, give back, seek redemption, get back in the good graces of the poor people of this land. Blessed is he who considereth the poor, and begin to show that it is not harder for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Put yourself in heaven by taking some of our poor people out of hell with that money you've made from the CBI. Meanwhile, with all of the damage done to our CBI and our country by Galaxy, Galaxy still has not been banned by our government. The biggest culprit walking free. Do you see why the European Union and the US are pissed off? And remember, Galaxy is highly placed in the China order of things. So the US and the European Union have good reason to be concerned that this is more than just economic plunder. They think it is political plunder as well, and geopolitics. CS Global, Galaxy, of course, needs to compensate the government and people of this country, and we need to acquire Ramada and whatever else we can acquire to help make good the bad that has been done to us. They're not doing us any good. CS Global needs to compensate the people of this country, give back 200 million US dollars at least. Why are we still doing business with them? Why? Could this be a reason that the European Union and the US are doing business with these people still? Could this be a reason for these institutions to want to pull the plug on us? Are our politicians afraid of Galaxy and CS Global? I ask because instead of demanding all jail applicants to prove that they pay the full amount and give them 3 months to pay the balance, that's to the government, pay the balance to the government. The government has restricted itself only to the 185 files presented to them in a case before the court by MSR. And it is interesting that the government, which is using the MSR evidence to go against the 185 Galaxy applicants, has delisted MSR, struck MSR off the program, but not Galaxy and not the other culprits. Ask yourselves why. Let's go to that same case. There was a sitting last week, Monday. But even prior to that, the government high-powered lawyers from Jamaica showed that they had no case against MSR. They could not answer the judicial review case properly. Underpricing was admitted. They were up the creek and had no paddle. So last Monday, they sat down to draft the court order under the guidance of the judge. And it was agreed that, as the government had done with the 185 files, it would do likewise with the remaining 4,200 files. In other words, write to the applicants, demand the money. But the government lawyers, maybe to save face, not to appear embarrassed, I don't know why, asked, even insisted that that particular paragraph not be expressly included in the court order, but they would go along with it. This is what I was told. The government would go along with it, shake hands on it. The MSR lawyer agreed. But then on Monday night, gentleman's agreement, then on Monday night, the government issues a press release, ill-advisedly, presumably under the directive of the Attorney General's office, to give the impression to the public that the matter was now ended, to suggest to people that it was all a waste of time by MSR, a nothing burger, as they say in the United States. This was a very serious and misleading misstep by the government, and somebody should pay for that. Mind you, the court order had not yet been signed, and so the matter was not closed. Playing politics with this was a foolish move to make by the government, whoever made it on behalf of the government. And my presumption is that it originated in the Attorney General's office or at the behest of that office. So the lawyer from MSR said, no, this is not going to happen like this, because you all are giving the wrong impression. And in any event, the order has not been signed. So they have applied to vacate the order. So they have to go back to court. So what is the government going to say? Unnecessary embarrassment, a waste of money in a case that you couldn't win, and a case whose evidence you used to go after the 185 people. Why not go after all 4,400? Why not? What are you afraid of? Who is holding your tongue? Who is holding your hand? And all of this has come to a very great cost for the taxpayers. And where are we now? The Americans and the European Union are frothing at the mouth, threatening to deliver the death blow. Where is the sense in the approach that we are seeing by the government, led by the legal department? Arrogance, playing Russian roulette with the people's CBI, and your future, allowing bloodsuckers to dry us up. These are the things that have us here, huddling up to badness and leaving our people exposed. Here is my bottom line on this. The Prime Minister should never have signed any of these Galaxy applications. Who advised him to sign them? Was he pressured to sign them? What plausible reason can he give to have approved the pursuit of 185 cases, the evidence for which was provided by MSR, but not the remaining 4,200 cases? What plausible reason? The information was sufficient to presume that it was correct and proper and necessary to pursue all. Is the protection of the few more important than the best interest of the entire nation? The Prime Minister received bad advice, and given this is a matter with potentially catastrophic consequences for us, he needs to call for the resignation of the persons who gave him this bad advice. And it is time that the scoundrels who over the years robbed and facilitated the robbery of the people of this country, of billions of dollars, and of the opportunity to achieve now, not in the long future, but now, sustainable prosperity. It is time for them to get a jail, every single one of them. Strip them of the flashy suits, strip them of the fancy watches, strip them of the big rides, take them from business class on the airline and five-star rooms in the hotels, and send them to 1840 or the Galaxy Jail. Everybody looks good in blue denim. Look at what these people have done to us. Look at where we are now. We have to take drastic, redemptive action, redeeming ourselves and ridding ourselves of the scoundrels.
You see, that is why the opposition United Workers' Party is taking the government to court for transparency. Let's see what is out there. That was Mr. Dwyer Astafan on the issue of the CBI.
Check out where we are and where we should be. Our leaders keep letting us down. Once they have power, then power is pregnant with beauty, nature, so much greenery.
You never know what might be discovered, huh?
Minded people willing to work towards one goal, better life on this earth. But we government is a stumbling block.
Just to inform you that just knew some comment in there. We were talking about this case earlier with a mother and a juvenile daughter granted bail in the Alkali throwing incident. The police have slapped 4 charges on Adama Schillenfeld and 2 against her 14-year-old daughter, who is a juvenile. The charges stem from an incident that occurred in Roseau, April 4, 2025, involving the mother, her daughter, and other school children. She is charged with assault by spraying a liquid substance, namely alkali, in the eyes of a school child, name withheld, and with an offensive weapon, knife, aiding and abetting, and battery. Schillenfeld appeared before Magistrate Hansel Valerie when the 4 summary charges were read to her and pleaded not guilty to all. Zinamo Dyer is representing the mother and daughter. The prosecution did not object to bail with the proper surety. Her 27-year-old son was proposed as surety, and prosecution questioned how much control he has over his 45-year-old mother in ensuring that she attends court. The magistrate initially set bail at $15,000, but after some pleading from her, Ms. Dyer, he revised and set it at $10,000. The matter has been adjourned until July 28, 2025. In the meantime, her daughter, who was also arrested, was slapped with 2 counts of assault. She was expected to be granted bail and the matter transferred to Juvenile Family Court on April 9, 2025. Both students who got affected by the alkali incident were wearing dark shades and were present in court dressed in school uniform with their parents. Story we will follow. That story was shared by, we picked up from the Nature Isle News. It's 2:44. Hello, good afternoon to you. Talk to me. Yes.
Matt,
Yes, how are you?
all how I'm trying to remain quiet, somehow you always entice me to come back and
Uh-oh.
give some contribution. Matt, you remember, can I jog your memory?
Try.
Let's go back sometime mid-year last year, was it?
Mm-hmm.
A major news release from the government, from the passport department, that a number of passports, I think they had given us the number, how many
on
of
60, was it 68?
something like that, were recalled.
Mm-hmm.
So you just recall those passports, Matt. The bad actors who undersold those passports. You never told us, the public, who were those bad actors. Why did you do that? How did you get about doing that? How did Mr. Hunter at the Immigration Department release blank passports, signed and stamped, to those bad actors? And what it tells us is that there's a serious flaw in the system. How could an undersold passports, almost 68 of them, have flew under the radar, released to those buyers, and no one audited that? Why did that have to happen? Why is there such a flaw in the system? It happened in St. Kitts and it happened in Dominica, no doubt in the other islands. And my government, why are you not explaining to the public how did this come about? Where is the audit trail in these transactions? How did Treasury allow, and Treasury did not tell Finance, look, we did not get our 100,000. Why are we getting 60,000, 50,000? And the passports were released. Something is wrong. There was no major conversation on this. It's mind-boggling. Why was such a flaw existing in the system? And the bad actors were let off scot-free.
Scot-free.
Scot-free, the bad actors. How did they get about getting those passports undersold? And the Prime Minister's office now had to go and recall those passports. I wasn't satisfied with the news. You had to tell us who were the bad actors.
Of course, Peter. We heard also about the due diligence. What did the officers there doing that due diligence? What did they expose?
That the audit trail never saw that, hey, those passports are being undersold. What's going on?
Maybe we should ask Clarence Christian. He's an auditor. Maybe we should ask him.
Something is wrong in the system. All the staff from Mr. Hunter down have to give a response to the public. They owe it to us. How did you sell Dominica's citizenship under sale? How did you do that? How did you accomplish that?
And a big question again, Peter, who are the agents?
The bad actors. There you are. There you are. Are you telling me, did Mr. Hunter release blank signed passports at the Immigration Department? Just willy-nilly? With no audit trail? With nobody in Treasury seeing, well, hey, why didn't we get our 100,000 for that particular citizen? I mean, every name appearing in the Gazette, I pray it is still appearing, the amount they paid should appear alongside their name and show us a total of what we got for the month, every month for the year. God bless him, Matt.
God bless. Yes, I can see you're frustrated, Peter. Man, some Caribbean leaders think they're slicker than grease and their time is longer than twine. But I say, here comes the judge knocking on the region's door. Let's take a voice note at this time. Let's do this and come back.
Good afternoon, Matt. I'm listening to that piece you have with Mia Motley. Yes, she's right in what she's saying. But Matt, I have reservations about all these speeches. That's another fancy talk at the 11th hour. That's how I'm seeing it. Matt, I want to make reference to what she mentioned. 80 years since the Caribbean come to have such a time like it's facing now. Right? That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And all these years, we have a regional group called CARICOM. CARICOM have yet to do little or anything, Matt. We just are grouping in name. The people of the region are more together than the governments of the region, if you understand what I'm saying. And here lies the problem. Matt, we lost banana industry throughout the region. And most of the businesses that really does agriculture today are private individuals who see a way out and they could go into certain specialized market. After we lost the WTO World Trade vibes where we cannot send banana and everything, it was America mainly with Chiquita and Dole and all the big banana companies in America that broke the back of the region in the banana industry. But hence, another market open. We have organic market. We had fair trade. We had all these things, Matt, that where you can say you speak to a big market owner with multi-stores around the region, i.e., I'm going to throw one up there, an organic market like Whole Foods, right? The guy who owns Amazon owned them stores, Jeff Bezos, right? You could approach somebody like that and try to have a market directly with him, selling organic foods, selling specialized foods, because that's what they're doing. The market in the region, the leaders in the region never try anything like that. So we're sitting here now today because our backs against a wall, and we're talking about what Trump done and what Trump is doing. Yes, Trump is doing what Trump is doing, and it's going to affect you. But the point I'm trying to get to, Matt, in the 80 years, and since we left the colonialists, since we've been independent, we have yet to really have a real Caribbean organization, a CARICOM, that would put the countries together where we can produce in mass and we could have an effect on our people's lives.
Check out where we are and where we should be. Our leaders keep letting us down. Once they have power, then power is our destiny. Pregnant with beauty, nature, and so much greenery. Let's be back on this water, soil and grow eating. Even-minded people willing to work towards one goal, better life on this.
It's 2:49 in the afternoon. Hello, yes? Uh-huh.
Mr. Pelton, blessings to you. What's up, gang?
Blessings to you, blessings.
Hey, why Matthew, Angelo, Lennox, R.C., who again? Matt, everybody warn me, Matt. I was thinking you and Diane others may not be able to articulate as clearly or skillfully as time will. What time is the healer, the reveal, and the processor, Matt? Matt, probably short on the radio, Salawi, Matt. Matt, you remember in that voice, Now, push come to shove, a lot of people getting trampled and they suffering from amnesia. They forget Matt say. You know, Matt, it is very damn sad. You know, the CS Global and the Montreal management and, you know, all these kind of little games, Matt. With these leaders, they claiming to be doctors and have to get foreigners to steal from the pie, Matt, which they are managing. So they get the cut, the management, all the agents get the cut, and the crumbs that fall off, the cake they're feeding on, Matt, by cutting it. That is what they're feeding the region with. You understand that this argument I just made there, Matt?
Yes, I did.
So you mean in the region haven't got educated and talented and skilled people enough to set up organizations to represent the region, rather than go and get Chinese, Lebanese, and all of that
to manage the passport money, man. Now I listen to a donkey from the cluster of clowns, Matt, talking about, how they call it, Matt, cannabis, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, that laborious and mendacious garbage, that pack of lies and that exhausting talk. Matt, when they give them man the marijuana to smoke, Matt, you remember me, Matt, and others?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just create an industry? But guess what? The same thing, push come to shove, and Skerritt is getting trampled. He's coming up with another scheme to lie to the people. Again, the mendacious mentality is a damn liar. So I am just saying, Matt, Dominicans are going to fold like Mezemawi, the sensitizer bush. When you touch it, it's just closing. And allow Skerritt to feed them. I see him have them at his home giving them barbecue. I don't know what they soak them chicken in, and after they eat it, all they can do is get naked and act stupid. Dominicans, a lot of us. So I am saying, Matt, if you did not see to create an industry, then what would have necessitated your desperation now if it's not CBI and American Europe and them have you in your balls and Trump foot on your neck? And all of a sudden, you remember, and I listened to, what's the name, the Durant lady, your colleague, Matt?
You mean Dion Durant? Dion Durant.
Yes, a Dominica in 5 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look at how extensive the argument in blessing to create an industry out of cannabis. The same Lennox Linton, they said out smelling marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
He come back high and all things. Then they went after that and get them and marijuana to smoke. But I never see sick young men in Dominica like that. Not I'm over 50, I'm almost 60 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen young men as crazy as I am seeing in Dominica. And I wonder, Matt, maybe is, let me see, what is, maybe it's the Navy SEALs and the snipers, man. It must be the marijuana and the CO and the BB and pink grapefruit and everything else. So when Skerritt and them come in, Matt, playing their games, and at the same time, you have, and Matt, as I say about, Dr. Fountain is educated. Matt, education cannot save you from corruption. It's conscience that can save a man from corruption. And my beloved brother, thanks for what you have done and still doing, and all those who are trying. But I think our method in approaching the madness is inadequate, Matt. And we have to give those Caribbean leaders a dose of American citizens, how they give the leaders. They miss Reagan, look, they miss Trump, and they take 4 of the presidents already. When they're not pleased with them, Matt, they take them out, they neutralize them. And that's how you have to deal with those thieves that you call leaders in the Caribbean. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's take a voice note there. It's just about 2:54 in the afternoon, this one.
Yeah, Matt, I would like somebody in the listening audience to inform me or answer my question so that I can be informed about the matter I'm about to present into this voice note. I would like to know why Mary Eugenia Charles was not in favor of Dominica's political independence from Great Britain, where a member of the royal family of Portsmouth came from Canada, was deported from Canada, and mobilized the so-called intellectual during those days to mobilize them to associate with then Premier Patrick John for Dominica's independence, which was also presented to the nation at Bowie or Salisbury by the then John's administration. Probably the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, who was an active member of the YFM, can probably share with us or any other person in the listening audience why the late Mary Junior Charles was not supportive for Dominica's political independence from Great Britain. This is the question. I'd like somebody to educate me.
All right, of course, we would like to, but again, you're off the bullseye this afternoon, okay? Maybe on Wednesday We'll attempt to play that voice note again, huh? When we have an open line. It's 2:56. You're off the bullseye this afternoon, okay? Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes? Uh-huh.
Good afternoon, Matt. Matt,
My brother.
how many years has Mr. Blackmore been the security minister?
A few years, I think, Mr.
Quite a few.
Quite a few, yeah.
So a lot of those due diligence that failed but still got citizenship, who authorized them to get citizenship even after they failed or it came to knowledge of these governments that these people were crooks and they should not have received Dominican passports? Who was responsible? We need to point the finger at those persons who are behind that, because we have to keep in mind, if you are a crook and you're going to fail the due diligence, you're going to be willing to pay millions of dollars to get that passport. Who collected that kind of money under the table? These are the questions we need to get to. We need some proper investigators to find out how much was paid to these people to get these passports, even if they did not pass the due diligence. That is the area we need to find out. And Mr. Blackmore, you've been the security minister. Is that your responsibility? And if that was your responsibility and you failed at it, you should probably resign from that position, because you sit on your high horse as if you're on some high moral ground and you want to jail people for protesting things that you did to give them good reason to protest. You've given them good reason. You've not even answered the question how much money you have paid lawyers in Trinidad. You're giving us good reason to protest, and then you want to jail us for protesting. I don't think that's quite right, Mr. Blackmore. Thank you, man.
I told you that something is going on, something is happening. Somebody suggests here. Prime Minister Skerrit is advancing and doing his thing. Pool parties at the Mount Daniel mansion. And what again? The campaign is in full swing.
The government with the most money, they're the one to make the most market way. Tell them get up, get up, get up. We want no more.
Stand up for the truth, regardless of who steps on it, right? That's the word of the day, taken from the Catholic Meditation, April 5th, 2025, the fourth week of Lent. Stand up for truth, regardless of who steps on it, huh?
They keep those things that's on. Boy, they go hunt you down. Or make you quit and run. That's their reputation. Some run away because they can't take no more. To greener pastures, but we're just next.
Someone is saying, Matt, I thought Mia told Trump she doesn't need the visa. Now she's crying for friendship.
Maria. But not before these women. Rose was in disaster. She transferred so much. The electoral commission, the police.
Here's another WhatsApp message. I love this gentleman's spirit and motivation. I'm very glad that Donald Trump got Mia Motley and a Carrigan cabal to wake up and smell the coffee. Here you are. Belle Beth with Jeff. My grandmother would say, Mia sounds like a cry baby. What a disgrace and shame. She's yet to say in her dress what CARICOM has done or what should be doing, what they should be doing. What has CARICOM done in the last 5, 10, and 15 years to change and improve the lives of the people of the Caribbean? He just spoke of doom and gloom. Shame on you, Mia. Thompson may have been saying the same thing, but he did that with a sense of hope and optimism, huh? I'm sorry I can't take every voice note. We've gotten to the end of today's program. We'll be back. Same time tomorrow on the hot set, exploring the issues of the day. JD, get out, get out, get out. One more time in the afternoon as we go. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services wishes to inform the public that due to an electrical outrage at the Marigold Hospital, all emergency services are temporarily being redirected to the Imelda James Health and Wellness Center in Wesley. This arrangement will remain in place until further notice. We appreciate your patience and understanding as we collaborate with our partners to resolve this issue promptly. Again, the ministry is just announcing that all services from the Marigold Hospital have been shifted to the James Health and Wellness Center in Wesley, and this arrangement will remain in place until further notice. We appreciate your patience and understanding as we collaborate with our partners to resolve this issue promptly, okay? There's an electrical outage at the Marigold Hospital. So all emergency services are redirected to the Imelda James Health Wellness Center in Wesley.
Before hospitals, the multitude. So we fed up, and their chances done, and we decide when the elections come, tell them get out, get out, get out. We don't want it no more. In a little tent, oh, and just like the river I've been